Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the DaVinci Resolve tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 4, where we'll be importing the media files. Okay, so here in this particular chapter, I'll be showing you guys in detail about how you will be able to import your media files, the different options regarding that. Okay, so in last class, whilst I was talking about the workspace, I have showed you guys about the media page, how you will be able to do that. But here in this class, we will specifically talk about importing the media in detail. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the workspace and basically on the media page over here. So in last class, I have showed you that what are the different ways of how you will be able to import your media. Okay, so the simple way is just drag and drop. Okay, so if you just drag and drop your media, it will be basically imported. And if you want to drag and drop a file itself, you guys can come here and let's say I want to have this particular file. Okay, I can just drag and drop it directly over here. So for now, let's say I'm not able to actually import this file. Why? Because in this particular folder, I don't have any items. So if I double click, you guys can see this is totally an empty folder. Okay. So over here from your PC, you won't be able to import any empty file. Okay. So that's the first thing. And also, if I want to come here, let's say I want to take this audio folder. And once I take this audio folder, you guys can see all the content which I had here in my audio folder is being imported over here as well. Okay. So that is how you guys can basically import these things over here. And now if you just right click and if you want to actually create some new bin for each and everything right over here, you guys can come here and you guys can click on new bin and it will basically create you up bins. Okay, so let's come here. Let's name this one as audios. Okay, so let's come here. I will name this one as audios. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import all of this audio by just dragging and dropping it over here into my bin, or you guys can also call it as the folder. And directly, if you want to import any folder itself, you guys can right click. Then from here, you guys can just directly go to import media, which will redirect you into your page. And the same way, if you want to import a bin, you guys can come here and directly you can import a folder itself. Okay, so if you want to import a folder itself, you guys can come here and import a folder itself as well. So for me, let me come right over here and let me actually create, or let me just actually line up my workspace. So I will just name this one as the videos over here. Okay, and what I'll do is I will just select all of this thing together at once. And now I will just drag and drop this one over here in my video spanner. So now again, let's come here, let's go to new bin and I will name this one as images. Okay, so I will name this one as images. Let's drag and drop these images right over here into the images folder. Okay, so now if you come down over here, now if you just click on audio only under the smart bin option, you guys can see that I do have these 5 audios. If you come here and if you just go with video clips here, you guys can see I do have this 4 video clips right over here. And also if I just come here and let's say I will just go down into this particular collections. Let's go with music, effects, silence, uncategorized, subcategorized. You guys can see I don't have anything yet over there. Okay, so I will just close this thing down and under keywords, I don't have anything as well. But under collections, you guys can see I do have all of these collections right over here. Okay, and also I do have all of these folders. Okay, so let's come here and let's just look at these all collections over here again. And if you do want to go back from collections, you guys can again see that I do have all of these 3 folders over here in which I can work on. So let me just decrease the size over here. Let me come here. Let me just close this thing down as well. Let's go to videos, and under videos, you guys can see I do have this particular 3 folders. Okay, so this is one way of how you will be able to import your media. And let's say if I go to file, and from here also I can basically import. Okay, so if you go to import, here you guys can directly import a bin, or if you want to actually import a media, you guys can directly come here and you guys can actually directly import your media over here as well if it's a single project. And also, let's come down and let's say if I just right click over here, if you want to import subtitles as well for any of your video, you guys can come here and you guys can actually import your subtitles, which you can use into your video itself. Okay, so this was about importing. Okay, and once you're done importing, if you come here, let's say if you go to your edit page, you will also be able to see a page quite like this. If you double click over here, then only you guys will be able to see all of those videos. And if you want to go back frame by frame, you guys can come here. Let's click on videos. And now under this videos option, you do have this three folder, which is one is audio, another one is videos, and the other one is images. So let's come here. Let's increase the smart bin size over here that I can view it properly. Okay, and now if you don't want to view this particular part or this media folder, you guys can come here and you guys can just click onto the media pool and you guys can see that now you do have this particular interface right over here. Again, let's go to this media folder file over here, and let's say I will just come here onto the videos and I want to check out the details of this particular video. So here you guys can see I do have the clip details option. Let's turn off the audio. And now I am only able to see the metadata or the clip details. Here you guys can see what is the start point, what is the ending frame. You guys can see that how many frames does it have, and also what is basically the frame rate. Okay, and also the resolution of your screen. Let's come here. Let's close down the metadata. And once you have closed down the metadata, you guys are only able to see the source monitor and only the imported medias right over here. Okay, and under audio also, you guys can see that you do have all of this audio using which you guys can work on. Let's say you are working on multiple projects. Okay, so the usefulness of creating a bin is you guys can actually name those things accordingly. Let's say you do have 5 projects and the timeline of that 5 project is day after tomorrow, so you guys can just segregate your work that you don't get confused and you don't mix up. Okay, so if your client gives you any kind of resources and they want you to edit a video for them, in that case you guys can actually segregate those work into particular bins or into particular folders. Okay, so that was about this media storage. This was the smart bin, which will actually recognize you what kind of files you have imported and it will segregate them accordingly. And I have also showed you that if you want to do it manually, how you will be able to select these frames manually right over here. And under this master option, also under the videos, you guys can see I do have my timeline as well. Okay, so in one particular project, you guys can have multiple timelines, but in one timeline, you can't have multiple projects. So to understand about the timeline, you need to understand. So you can't have multiple projects in one timeline. You need to understand it as a chapter of a book. Okay. So a book can have multiple chapters, but a chapter can't have multiple books. So that is the simplest example which I can give you over here. Okay, so that was about importing your media, and I have showed you guys different ways of how you will be able to import. If you want to create up a new bin, you guys can come here, create a new bin from here to segregate your work from the file option as well. Under the import option, you guys can see you guys can import all of these things over here. If you directly want to import a project which you have worked on before, you guys can come here, click on import project, which will redirect you into your PC. So if you click onto this here, you will be able to see that you do have any Resolve or DaVinci Resolve file or not, which will basically open up right over here. Okay, so that is about that. And if you want to create up a new timeline, you guys can come here and you guys can go to timeline and you guys can basically import or create up a new timeline over here as well. Okay, so you guys can basically come right over here, create up a new timeline over here as well. Okay, so I hope you guys do have understood of how you will be able to import media. I have showed you guys different ways to do that over here into this particular chapter. So in next chapter, we are going to learn how you will be able to set up your workspace, like how you'll be able to edit your workspace before starting on with your project. Okay. So see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.